Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly Monday Motivation podcast, No More Excuses. I am your host, Sandi Ballard, and happy Monday from Vegas. I am out in Vegas at an Architect Association, AIA National Conference, networking, because I usually speak at some of them and want to just connect with other people. And if you don't know me, then you might not know that my other half is an architect. So he's out here getting his learning on, and I'm out here getting my networking on. All right. So, how did you do last week living in the now? Remember, when you're in the now, you've won. So, did it help you change your thoughts? Now being the right time as well to change your behavior, to modify so you can be in present moment with whoever you're meeting with, talking with, the task at hand. Being present, not multitasking. Did you try making your lists, even setting the goals and creating the plan? Did you try that? Because we've talked about, so if this is your first time listening, you might need to go back a few. No, you not might. You need to go back a few podcasts and start listening. Because we talked about, the mouse in my little pocket here, I talked about not multitasking, because how multitasking is inefficient. And how if you're multitasking, you're not 100% present for the person in front of you. So now, right here, right now, where are you? Okay, literally, where are you while you're listening to this? If you're driving, just, be careful. And if you're doing anything else, like working, emailing, texting, you're talking to somebody else. You're thinking about what else is going on. And are you giving me 100% of your attention? No. So that's rude, right? But also, what is it doing for you? What did I say that you missed out on? Because I know it was life-changing, right? So we were watching a comedian the other night, and it was actually on TV, and my phone buzzed, and I looked and I replied. So just within that few, minute, I guess, all of a sudden, Tad, my other half, is laughing hysterically. I missed something. And I asked him, I was like, what did he say? So he told me, and then guess what? Yep. All of a sudden the audience, it's recorded, but the audience is cracking up. Now we both missed something. And it was all because I wasn't giving that moment in my time 100% of my attention. And it caused someone else to miss out as well. So the negative effects of multitasking can have a domino effect. Your distraction to others, your distraction and allowing that distraction caused somebody else to miss as well. And you're thinking, well, with podcasts and with TV and with anything these days, you can just go back and listen over. Yes, you can. And then I remind you, the whole point of this is to be more productive and efficient so you can achieve more. So if you're going back and re-listening, you're losing time. Just like in the last podcast, I talked about trying to open up GarageBand, which I record these podcasts. And at the same time, I was trying to do, delete some things, open another program. My computer didn't want me to multitask. So I spent, almost 5 minutes waiting on my computer to shut everything down and restart. I know 5 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but 5 minutes is a lot. So continuing to multitask and be distracted, the bottom line, the whole thing, it's inefficiency. It wastes time and money. And so have I stood on my soapbox long enough about how bad multitasking is? All right, probably 3 podcasts or more. Okay, then let me make sure you understand the potential domino effect, like I just referred to. Maybe that seems silly because it was just a comedian on TV. Hell, we all know distracted driving is one of the main reasons of accidents. So again, if you're listening to this in your car while driving, just don't take notes, all right? But, and then as I'm writing and recording this podcast, I started thinking about what's coming up this month for me. I've got my week or monthly connecting event called Bitches and Booze. Women, if you don't know about it, Bitches and Booze, check it out. It's the second Tuesday of every month. And also Taboo, my quarterly lunch. I started thinking about, who signed up, who hasn't, why, what am I going to do, what can I do? Did they not like it last time? Do I need to make it better? Do I need to call in my tribe and have another meeting? Oh, what if we don't have 30 people to break even? What if the food isn't right like last time? And what if I started going into this what if mode and all this blah, blah, blah. And it was at least 3 or 4 minutes taken away from you guys while I spaced out into the future and became full of anxiety about what ifs, right? And it was just a split second, and I allowed that. And so now I'm tired. And how did you like that little spin around the future? How do you think that helped me? And yes, it gave me something to talk about in the podcast here, but it's a great example of how it took the focus away from you, my listeners. What if that was a client that was in person or on the phone or Zoom call? It took me off track, and I had to reread what I had written to see what I was even talking about. I lost time. I lost my train of thought. And, the what ifs, the spin I was in, excuse me, as in Teresa, who's in my group last podcast, I talked about in the now. When you're in the now, you've won. We were talking about the what ifs, and she was like, what if is a mind fuck? We were all like, that's so true, because you get in that spin. And what if you can't stop thinking about the past? And what if you can't stop thinking about the future of what ifs? What if I wouldn't have said that? What if I wouldn't have thought that? What if I wouldn't have done that? And then future-wise, what if? Like I was thinking, what if we don't get 30 people? What if they screw up the food again? What if one of the speakers, the panelist, doesn't show up? You feel yourself either full of stress from the past or anxiety for the future. So what if can be a mindfuck if you use it in that sense when you think about can't attached to it, right? So bear with me. What if you can use what if as a mindset, a tool to get you excited, focused, and motivated? All right? So it's a challenge this week, your challenge this week. What if you can? So fill in the blank here. What if I can, fill in the blank. Email me sballard@growingforward.biz or post it here. What if I can, and fill in the blank. Let's switch that from a negative mindset to a positive one. All right, have a great week, and I look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.